I haven't filmed for a while. I had a few day rest in Naryn. I've had a few things going on. There's a couple of minor problems, but I'll explain them later. Right now I'm on the way quite out to a remote area again. I've just stopped for lunch in this village. This village is so small that there was not even anywhere to eat, so I just had to go to the local magazine and got some bread, a bit of carrot, tomato and cucumber, and a tin of canned fish with this sauce, and put it together, make some strange sandwiches. It was okay. But as you probably know by now, my bike is very heavy with all the stuff on it, and a local man has just given me this hummus. It's in a Coke bottle, which is very popular here. It's horse milk and everyone drinks it. It's quite tasty actually, but my bike is so heavy already, I really don't want to carry anything extra, but I thought I tried to say, I'll just have a little bit. I know how to say my bike is heavy, but he's insisting, so I've got it. So I guess I'll take it for now. Finding a campsite is a really interesting process. It can be very difficult at times, either because there are very limited places to stop and camp, or it can be difficult because there is an abundance of places and you don't know which one to choose. You're trying to choose the perfect one. A lot of things come into consideration. Of course, how tired you are and how far you've gone that day, but also how hidden it is a big one for me. The beauty of the area, and of course access to water. So yeah, it's quite a fun game. It can be, and it's fun when it's challenging to just keep looking around like, where am I going to stop tonight? It's a bit windy. To cook. Unfortunately it wasn't lighting, which is a bit of a problem, but I'll get to that later. So as I was trying to redo it, basically realized a huge storm was coming. As I said earlier, it was really windy and huge gusts, very strong gusts of wind came. My tent, like the two pins on this side of me, came out, and the whole tent was like, even with stuff in it. So I've put them back in and put some rocks as well, so that hopefully it's gonna be okay. Well, now I'm in it too, so that adds a lot of kilos. Yeah, so I had to abandon the cooking attempt and bring everything inside. Luckily, I had enough time. I've just jumped in the tent now, and now it's raining, so I've luckily had 5 minutes to sort everything out, to wash my hands before it got really bad, because that could have been a lot worse. It could have started potting out immediately. But yeah, I didn't expect this to come today, but it's really windy, there's thunder, so it's going to be interesting, see how long it lasts. And I guess I'm just going to have to eat a bunch of snacks. Luckily I've got a lot, it's all junk food, but it'll do. So yeah, here's the tent life. I've had quite an interesting day so far. I didn't leave until about 10:30 this morning, which is very late for me when I'm camping. But that was because I decided to cook the food that I hadn't been able to cook last night because of that storm that came. And I had the rice all sitting in the bowl with the water already, so I thought, oh, let's cook it. So that took quite a while. My stove, I don't know if it's the stove, but I think maybe it's just really bad fuel, but it keeps cutting out. There's not a strong flame at all, and then if it gets a bit of wind, even with shelter around it, it cuts out. So it took me 3 attempts, and I had to keep watching it very vigilantly. So it's kind of annoying. One of the problems that I was going to mention yesterday, which is actually sorted now, was my the fuel pump had become loose, and I couldn't pump to get any to pressurize or anything. but luckily I managed to fix that. But still the stove doesn't want to work half the time, which is annoying. And the other main problem that I didn't mention yesterday is my brakes. So after that long 4-day ride through the Tussauds Pass, my brakes have they're just not functioning very well. So I changed the brake pads, but that hasn't made a difference. And I had them bled, which for those of you that don't understand is because these are hydraulic brakes, they have brake oil inside the tubes. So that doesn't need to be done very often, and I had them done in Almaty before I left, so they shouldn't need to be done again unless somehow dirt or air has got in there, and I guess that's what's happened somehow. So it's quite dangerous right now. Both brakes aren't functioning very well. I just have to go very carefully on downhills and try and trust my ability. So I might have to go back to Bishkek on a bus to get that sorted if there's no bike stores in Osh. But anyway, I'll keep you updated on that. Yeah, so it was quite good. Earlier today there were a few guys in a car who stopped and they were eating, and they called me over to eat with them, and that was good. Then I was like showing them stuff on my bike, and then they were kind of like, okay, like goodbye. It seemed kind of like they were trying to get rid of me, and at the same time they were all changing their tops and putting gloves on. I was quite suspicious. I hope they weren't burying a dead body or something. I didn't stay to find out, so. So I was just cruising on downhill, going quite fast. Not too fast because of this brake problem that I told you about. And I turned a corner, and often you find little shortcuts. So I saw this little shortcut, and I could clearly see where it was journeying back onto the road, so I took it. And then suddenly realised, there, I don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but that is one, and that is a big step down, like a meter and a half down. And since my brakes aren't doing so well, I nearly went flying over that. Damn, that would have been nasty. Yikes. Oh, hello. I stayed here last night with Adelvik and his beautiful family. Hello.
Hello.
Here in the yurt in the middle of nowhere. It's my first experience sleeping in a Kyrgyz yurt, and it was fantastic. They are very hospitable. Krasiva semya. Beautiful family. Very comfortable, very sweet, and beautiful children. So. Oh man, have I got some stories to tell you. This afternoon, well, this whole day really, especially the afternoon, has been ridiculous. So, but actually, first of all, before I go into the stories, I want to show you where I am in the world right now. Take a look at that. This is nothing short of astonishing, absolutely incredible. Probably one of the most spectacular places, natural places I've been in my lifetime, if not the most. And what's more is I'm here alone and I'm going to camp here. It's unbelievable. It's called Kusu, a lake in the very far south of Kyrgyzstan that's very close to China, and not many tourists make it out here, especially by bike. So yeah, it's quite an incredible day. Just look at that for a moment though. All the way around up here, these rocks. And then the view to the other side, this whole valley. Stunning. So I left early this morning from that homestay in the yurt, which was also incredible. We shared some gifts. I gave them a couple of things I had, and they managed to give me something as well. It was beautiful. Wow, huge eagle is flying past right now. And then I turned off to come on a off-road down to where this lake is supposed to be, which was quite tricky, but then there was an enormous downhill. I thought I was going to just come and visit and go back up there, but there was an enormous downhill and I thought I can't get back up this today. I got down and there are a few like little yurt homestays and stuff like that, and the last one I just tried to get some information and have lunch, and it turned out they were having what seemed like a party, like a bunch of people turned up and they were having food together. Turns out they were actually working, doing like map marking for Google Maps or something like that, I think. But anyway, I had some food there because this was one of my concerns, that I wouldn't have enough food to stay here, and there's no villages after the back on the main road for a long way. So I got the information, I started to cycle out here thinking that I'll probably camp the night, and I didn't really understand the route. Like, I knew that there was a route for cars and then like a walking track for horses or whatever as well, but following the road immediately it was crossing a huge river, and I thought, oh. So what I tried to do was just go a bit further. I could see a spot that you could cross the river that was a lot thinner, but as I was going towards that, a really old man on a horse who I'd met earlier was coming. And it turns out there was a bunch of them coming up here on horseback to visit as well. And but he was way ahead of the group, and he's like, no, come on, follow me. So I followed him, and this turned out to be incredible. I don't know if in a good way or a bad way. Very dangerous. Most of the time the route was okay. Of course, it's a horse track, so not so good for bikes. Most of the time was fine, but then we had to cross the river, which got to basically like waist deep at some point. So luckily with him there with me, he took my bags on top of the horse, so I had less weight, number one, but so the important stuff wouldn't get wet. And then I had to try and cross it, and I got absolutely soaked, of course. Luckily I was able to lift the bike, mostly because, you know, if the hubs, for example, parts of the bikes get that drenched in water that they can get really damaged. But I couldn't believe it. The current was so strong that it nearly swept me away because I was holding the bike. I couldn't really keep balance. And after that I was like, what is this guy doing to me? Why didn't he go the other route? Because at this point I could see the other people who were on the horse, who were way behind us. They had overtaken us on another route which looked much easier. And then there was so much climbing and it was incredibly exhausting. But once we got here, it was all totally worth that. I don't think anything's damaged. I don't think anything got wet, thankfully. It did start like even snowing a tad, just for 5 minutes. So my first hour or so, or 90 minutes here, was with these other people, these locals. It was nice to share the experience with them, take some photos of them, and I will send them to them on WhatsApp. A couple of kids, and then sit down and have some food. And then they've all left now, so now I'm alone. It's going to get cold, but it's not, I mean, it's fairly sheltered around here, but it's all worth it. It's so amazing to have a place like this to yourself. This is the gentleman who helped me up, took my bags on the horse behind him, over the river, so I could get up to this amazing place. He doesn't understand me, but he's wishing me good time in Kyrgyzstan and good luck, and gentleman. Спасибо большое, Рахмат.
Рахмат, тебе тоже спасибо, давай.
Да,
Good morning, world. Woo! And this morning, just cooked some porridge. And now I have a few challenges ahead of me, and that's basically, first of all, getting down the track to get here. Since my brakes aren't doing so good, I'll probably just have to walk the bike. And then how to get back, basically. I want to try and find the route that was that cars come. I'll try and find that, because I really don't want to cross that river again, especially now without the help of my good friend on horseback. If I have to cross it, I'm gonna have to take the bags off, carry them like on my shoulders, do about 3 trips and back and forth. It's not gonna be fun. So yeah, and then after we've done all that, we get back to where that little village was. Then I've got a really enormous uphill climb, so it's going to be a tough day. It was worth it for this, for sure. Absolutely. Oh man, I've only been going for 30 minutes. I'm exhausted, and I've only done 2.5k. Basically had to come down the tracks from those rocks. Probably can't see on the camera so well, which is very steep. And then, as I said, I wanted to get back following the vehicle route rather than the horse tracks, and I think I found it. It's good news, but it's just been very hard, steep, and going through a lot of thick grass, which is quite muddy as well, like little swamps, so trying not to get stuck. Look what I have to cross now. My feet are filthy now. It's moments like this that make you wonder what the hell you're doing. Now I want to get in the river and clean them. So it turns out that coming back this way, you still... Well, I knew I had to cross the river, but I thought it was a lot shallower at this point. But it's basically the same. So I've taken my bag off. And I'm going to have to do 3 trips back and forth to carry my stuff. Yeah, and get soaked again. Not so fun. Once was enough. Oh well, let's do it. Success! I did it. Nothing. I didn't fall. I got very close to falling. There's quite a strong current there and slippery rocks underneath, but I did it. Not many cyclotourists can say they've had to do that. What an adventure! I'm soaked all the way up to my knees. It's damn cold, but it's very sunny today, so it'll dry for sure. Good morning. Well, I've woken up early and started quite early today. Felt good, but like yesterday again, setbacks. A bit of trouble with my luggage setup for some reason, falling about a bit. And now, hooray! I've got my first puncture of the trip. I did pretty well, managed to last about a month. It's going to be a small one. It's not releasing air very quickly. I think it was from where I camped as I was riding out, because there were a lot of little sharp things, twigs and stuff on the ground. I tried to evaluate last night. I thought they were all okay, and most of all, I think 99% they were, but must have hit something this morning that did the job. So I'm going to try and fix this and move on. And I'm halfway up, hopefully more than halfway. A huge climb that I was not expecting. I'm really quite surprised actually. I've used up more than 3/4 of my water, and there's nowhere to get a good feed, of course. So this is a tough day. And
of course the roads are all gravel too, which is frustrating since yesterday I was convinced that take a break from the shitty roads and stick to the main highways to go all the way to Osh as a nice change, and all day today, at the end of yesterday, and it will be all day tomorrow, will be like this. Holy shit! It's fucking windy! Can you see that over there? That is the mountain pass, which I've been climbing for hours. This has been so much longer than I expected, so much harder. So today has been like exhausting since the first moment since I had that flat tire. This has been horrible roads all day, so much uphill, so much wind, especially in my face, and so much dust when every car went past. So those things, and also just not being able to find much water. So I definitely haven't drunk enough today. Not being able to find enough food. And now, basically, even campsite is not very good. No water access. No water means not really being able to give myself a proper clean, number one. And the little food that I do have that I can cook, I don't know if I should, because I don't know how long it's going to take to find water tomorrow. So I don't want to use too much for cooking and not have enough for drinking tomorrow. So not entirely sure what to do there. Still a fairly long way to Kazaman tomorrow, including another big climb. So I'm a bit worried about not having enough energy, and especially water, but I guess it's... Looks like I've formed a little gang. There was 5 of them, but 3 of them have stopped back there. But there's 2 more here. Kaç yazı bu?
Alişer. 50
That's a truck. These guys are just riding up the hill just to go back down for fun. So good on them, having a bit of fun so they can get some speed. It's a really nice road. Damn, these are some good carbs right here. So I just overtook a truck on a very tough climb. So either A, I'm super strong, or B, his truck is very old. Let me give you a hint, it's not B. No, I'm just kidding, it's a bit of both. Here he comes right now. Damn, this guy is slow. Yeah, his truck is probably 50 years older than me, but man, that made me feel strong to overtake a truck on an uphill. Oh, damn. If you think what I'm doing is dangerous, well, you would be right. Coming down these roads, these are some seriously steep cliffs without any protection on the side.
you have to keep good control of the bike. I feel confident. There's hardly any cars, and there's loads of space. But it's pretty crazy. The dangerous roads give you more of an adrenaline rush, though, especially going downhill. It's pretty nice. I'll be right.